Barefoot Cavalry, barefootcavalry.com. Danny Casolaro was right. Avoid the calamari. Posted August 19, 2016 by Yojak454. The Clintons' past presidential campaigns went through donors like crop rotation. Barack Obama and his controller, the Clinton Foundation, are actually being operated from another level above. A force in American politics since the rash of assassinations, which started with the rise of European humanist thought, i.e., anarchists et al. Charles Percy was a moderate Republican and an ambitious man with lovely twin daughters. In 1966, Mr. Percy was running for a U.S. Senate seat for the state of Illinois. His future son-in-law was already in politics, serving in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Of the twin girls, Valerie Jean was the one who was quiet and introverted. Sharon was to marry J. Rockefeller. Valerie Jean Percy was carved like a Christmas turkey in the Percy home just prior to the 1966 election, which Charles Percy won, almost like a sacrifice. It may be said that both Jay and Mr. Percy were Rockefeller Republicans. Jay had switched party allegiance to Democrat before running for the West Virginia House of Delegates. While he was in the Peace Corps and supposedly a Republican, he spearheaded the Peace Corps' initial program in the Philippines. He was about as Republican as Miss Lillian, Jimmy Carter's mother. Fast forward, August 1994, businessman K.S. Wu, a graduate of Illinois Wesleyan University, an official at the Commerce Department under Ron Brown, who was also on the board of directors of Singapore Fund, chairman of Pacific Century Group, the Japan Equity Fund, among others, and a board member of the Georgetown University Asian Law Program. After his junior year at Harvard, J. Rockefeller studied Japanese for 3 years in Tokyo, and at Yale he dabbled in Oriental studies and studied the Chinese language. Wu was described by West Virginia Governor Gaston Caperton as one of Rockefeller's trusted advisors and dear friend. It must be noted, Wu graduated Illinois Wesleyan University, and J. Rockefeller was president of West Virginia Wesleyan College. Wu was in attendance with Ron Brown and many millionaires from across the Far East at the Peak Hotel in Hong Kong, which at the time was a British protectorate. The event was hosted by Consul General Richard W. Mueller. Mueller was a career diplomat with the U.S. Department of State for 32 years, specializing in relations with China and Asia. The culmination of his career was an appointment to Hong Kong from 1993 to 1996. On July 1, 1997, Hong Kong reverted to the Chinese. After his career at State, Mr. Mueller went through many positions in college prep boarding schools around the world. Mueller, a confidant of Henry Kissinger, who many believed hoodwinked Richard Nixon regarding the Moscow-China border clashes at the time, more cozier than a Ning crime syndicate love slave in Oregon. The only evidence of a rift between the two communist powers were Russian army units on the Mongolian border with marauding Chinese troops on Mongolian ponies. In October 2013, the Shanghai School Board of Directors announced that Richard W. Mueller was permanent superintendent for Shanghai American School, which was scheduled until June of 2016. A Commerce Department employee, Wu was an actual underling of Chinese billionaire Li Ka-shing. During a 1994 trip, the Brown-Wu party met with Li Ka-shing in Beijing, owner of Hutchison Whampoa with close ties with China Ocean Shipping Corporation, COSCO. Lee and COSCO were the ones who went after the port of Long Beach. COSCO has both sides of the Panama Canal and has built the largest container port facility in the Western Hemisphere in the Bahamas. China in 1994 was as close to Bill Clinton's model for the third way than anything he could ever envision in the United States at that time, although he tried his best to turn Arkansas into a third way state. All this while California was moving into the seventh largest economy in the world slot, with Chinese goods flooding into ports like Long Beach, which the Chinese military actually tried to lease through Li Ka-shing, an agent, and Costco. There you could see the big money boys coming together with the Chinese military and the old criminal elements in Hong Kong, Macau, and Singapore. This is the third way Bill Clinton idolizes as one world, and he will do anything to accomplish that task that he has been applied to by his masters. A delegation of Asian investors was Wu's legacy to West Virginia in 1996. Senator J. Rockefeller carried these investors to Martinsburg, so special that the man who traces his lineage to Nelson Aldrich chartered a VIP train to transport these investors from Washington, D.C. to West Virginia. There they broke ground for a new aircraft plant located at Martinsburg Airport, calling the project Sino-Swearingen SJ-30. The plant was 50 miles from downtown D.C. and a sweetheart deal, which Trump today might describe it as the fleecing of America. It would be a good bet that Wu did not die in 1995, but just went back home to China. Backtracking 5 years to 1991, when Danny Casolaro was found dead in a hotel bathtub in Martinsburg, West Virginia, he was connecting the dots between Arkansas, Rose law firm clients in particular, and NSA attempts to penetrate foreign banks with the pirated Promise software. On the day that Danny left his home to meet his source in Martinsburg, West Virginia, his housekeeper received a call from someone who had been making threatening calls to Danny and who said, "I will cut his body and throw it to the sharks." Reminiscent of Valerie Jean Percy, another one of Danny's special assignments taken to the grave was the MENA drug operation and the money laundering. In 1994, Ira Sokowitz and John Huang worked at the Commerce Department to move along Arkansas-based Entergy Corporation in its Lipo Group soft coal-fired power plants project in China. Bill Clinton, for his part, worked with Huang, Ron Brown, Edwin Lupberger, Senator Rockefeller, and K.S. Wu to obtain U.S. taxpayer financing for these soft coal-fired power plants. With the stroke of a pen and without congressional approval, i.e., a presidential executive order, 1.7 million acres of land in southwest Utah were designated as the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. This action placed the area off limits to mineral extraction and development. This is how they cut their teeth for the Clinton Foundation state of America. These are the frontmen for a cabal of rich, filthy rich assholes who think they own God's creation for the simple reason their money works after they are gone. Notice how they have taken us down the rat hole with tech investments to China in their search for never-ending life, assisted by technology. Along the way, they will use the time-honored tools to subjugate the masses, linking up with the original opium trade. And from these masses, they will choose in their time, according to some eugenic bullshit, who lives and who dies, where you work, and where you will be sent to die. In other words, the present set of political donors to Hillary Clinton are just another death cult they can get along with. Recently, the Wall Street Journal criticized Donald Trump for not acting presidential and questioning when he would start acting presidential. When we look at the news of the past recounted herein, can you wonder when the Wall Street Journal is going to go to work and start doing some reporting? The technological giveaway under Bill Clinton through the deceased Ron Brown was so great that the money grubbers in Congress could not believe their windfall. After the Republican leadership canned Newt Gingrich and installed Denny Hastert, the usurper of the Gingrich Revolution, the controversial independent counsel provision in the Ethics in Government Act was allowed to sunset. Sorry to report Denny's not dead. He's just in jail. Update. Denny was released July 18th, 2017. You'll never hear the Republicans say anything about the sunset of the independent counsel provision, Ethics in Government Act. Ron DeSantis, Republican Florida, was stepping around in an interview regarding the lack of a special prosecutor, independent counsel, over the actions in the Obama administration and the DOJ, saying, at an earlier time, that might have been the course of action, never mentioning the Republicans let the independent counsel provision in the Ethics in Government Act sunset. Why would Donald Trump want to sound Republican and presidential when we were up against people who get away with murder and treason in America and can still call up boys to go die on a foreign field? Let Trump be Trump. Let the people rise up and let the electronic voting machines go away. Give us a paper ballot because security ain't a promise.